I don't know whether you've seen a video clip. I'm sure it's up on lbc.co.uk, our website. But this is a woman called Sherrilyn Speid of Grays in Essex. She's been banned from driving after using her car to try to move protesters who were blocking the road while she was on the school run. Now, she pleaded guilty to a charge of dangerous driving when she appeared at Southend Magistrates Court in October. She's been disqualified from driving for a year, and during sentencing at Basildon Magistrates Court, she was also handed a community order to pay 240 quid. She's going to have to take all that time off from behind the wheel of a car, and then she's going to have to retake her test the other side. Anyway, Sherrilyn is with me in a minute, and I'm delighted to welcome her to LBC. But this is the moment when all of this happened. Insulate Britain were on the road in front of her.
I'm not joking, my son needs to get to school. I need to get to work. Move out the way now. My son is 11, he needs to get to school, I need to get to work.
Well, Sherrilyn joins me now. Hello, Sherrilyn.
Good morning.
Morning. Oh, God. I mean, you must regret doing this. You've been found guilty now. Huge inconvenience. You lost your mind. You lost your mind a bit that day, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I do regret it. Of course I do. But it was a difficult time personally. There's a lot of things going on personally for me. Even I come out in the press. There's a lot of things that was going on at the time. And, as a single mum, the pressures of having to provide by yourself, and do everything on your own, it can be it's quite difficult,
Yeah, so, no, I did read some of those circumstances, but the court, still found you guilty. I must say, when I saw that, I thought if you were to go another foot or so, you could have really badly injured those people. So do you accept that what you did was wrong, or do you look back on it and try to justify it?
No, of course I accept it. Of course it was wrong. Yeah. I'm usually a very calm person on a normal day. I work in mental health. I've been supporting people for over 10 years. But you know what? No one's perfect. And this is what I'm trying to say, there was personal things going on in my own life. I was suffering from PTSD. I come out of a domestic abuse relationship after 12 years. I was currently moving home, and I've suffered trauma myself. So in that situation where you have protesters blocking you and stopping you from going to where you need to be, it takes you back, it triggers you into, your past. I was in a relationship before where I was stopped to go to work and things like that before. That was a massive trigger for me, and I just couldn't really talk about it before because it was quite hard to open up about this stuff. But now it's obviously out there anyway, so I might as well just be honest.
So looking back on that, you lost your composure. You came out of the car and you had a right old crack at somebody verbally. Then you got back into the car and you moved the car forward, and then you stuck the brakes on. Just imagine. I mean, you probably do imagine. Do you still think about that moment? Because if you'd have hit the wrong pedal, bang, it could have, you could have killed somebody.
Yeah, I think it's quite clear to see that I wasn't trying to run them over. The reason I had my foot on the brake is because I didn't want to hurt anyone, and I think that they've accepted that no one was hurt and there was no medical attention. They didn't need any medical attention. Yeah. They come to court to support me, so it wasn't that I was trying to hurt them. It was more of a scare tactic to get them to move. But I understand that they do stand for what they believe in, and they don't move. So that's why.
Did you speak to them? Have you spoken to either of them since, or the woman who came up to the Range Rover Sport and put her hands on the bonnet? But the girl, was it a woman particularly who was in front of you and whose back was bent by your Range Rover? Have you spoken with her since that moment?
Yeah, I've spoken to them. Yeah, I've had a good talk with them. They understand my frustration. And, it's about, for them, they just want the government to make changes. That they don't blame me for what I did. I'm not even blaming them for what they were doing. It's not really a me v them kind of thing.
Yeah. So how are you going to get around now, Sherrilyn?
Well, I've got legs. I can walk. I can get on the bus. Do you know what? I don't let things get me down. I really don't. I'm using this. I've took a lot of positives from this. It's given me a platform, and I've been able to provide an amazing service for so many women. I'm a voice for many women who suffer domestic abuse. I've set up a men's mental health WhatsApp service out of this. I've set up a mum's podcast to help mums get back into business and employment and training. Yeah. It's given me a platform to help so many people and carry on my work. I have not took this. It's not a negative for me. Okay, I've got another 10 months. I'm not allowed to drive. Yeah. It's not the end of the world. It really isn't.
You got to take a test the other side, and your insurance is going to fly up.
Yeah. Just means I've got to work harder than, isn't it, to pay the money.
Yeah, no. All right, well, Sherrilyn, thank you very much indeed. Take care of yourself. 35 years of age, from Grays in Essex, guilty, in charge of dangerous driving. Could have been very, very difficult. Tracy Mallaghan is a spokesperson for Insulate Britain. Hello, Tracy.
Good morning, Andrew. Nice to talk to you again.
And nice to talk to you as well. That could have been terrible. I mean, it was bad enough as it was, but even looking at that clip is so frightening. It's so easy for a foot to sort of hit the wrong pedal. It happens all the time. Somebody could have died.
Yeah, I didn't know Sherrilyn was on this morning. I wasn't told.
No, I didn't actually, because I didn't read the notes. It's amazing that she came on and she was very honest about her feelings, wasn't she?
I think she's quite a remarkable person, actually. And I honestly, the last couple of years I've seen our government and courts, they're just bonkers. They've lost the plot. How does it serve society to have taken the driving licence away from a hard-working single mum, never been in trouble before, caught up in an unprecedented event? How does that serve society, what they've done here, Andrew?
Well, so you didn't want her punished. She almost killed one of you.
Look, you're doing that again. Sherrilyn took that action amidst media calling for us to be dragged off the road, some of them going much stronger.
What am I doing again?
The media in general, you weren't one of the worst, but you did. There was a culture within the media, voices at that moment in time all over social media saying that they should run us over.
No,
off the road.
I didn't call. No.
Maybe not you personally.
Pulling you off the road and letting us get on with using the roads, as is our legal right, would be nice.
I think the bigger picture here is that direct action works. I've got so much in common with Sherrilyn. I had no idea about a climate emergency until Protest had made a couple of clips on the news. And Sherrilyn's been remarkable. I think we need her in the House of Commons instead of BJ and Kia. Yeah. She's talked to us since, and she said she had no idea how bad things were. Now, what has gone wrong? The ordinary mums like me and Sherrilyn are not being told by our government and media that our everyday lives are harming our children. What's gone wrong here, Andrew?
So you wouldn't have punished her for hitting somebody deliberately with her car?
I'm far more interested that we get a grip and start holding our government and businesses to account who are hurting, oblique intent. They're committing genocide, right? They're making decisions.
Do you live with this? Do you live with this every minute of every day, Tracy, though? That sort of sense of absolute doom. It must be a very hard thing to live with.
I actually laugh a lot most days because I'd rather laugh than cry, but you can't escape reality, right? You can have a sense of humour within reality. But if you're laughing and you're not living in reality, you're a little bit mad. Now, look, our government are making decisions, and they're not making them saying, good, we're going to kill millions of people, displace billions, but they're making them knowing that that is the cost of their decisions. We're going to do it anyway. Now, that's what should be going on in our courts, our media. Right. This is what we need to be talking about. Right. We warned. I've been on loads of media saying, God, if we don't sort this out, we face war. We've got one. If we don't sort this out, we face crop shortages. 40% last year. Yeah. If we don't sort this out, our children will suffer.
Like I say, Tracy, I just wonder what it's like to live with this sense of the world is under this enormous threat the whole time.
You know what? Like Sherrilyn, I've been depressed and had anxiety most of my life. And I actually feel a bit better now because I've stopped blaming myself for not being able to get on within a system. Because, I've been listening to your show and you said you've got a question for later. What are the Conservatives... You've got a good question for later on. Earlier in your show, you said, what are the Conservatives serving? Yeah. So I think we need to go even deeper. What is our political system? What is our economic system? What is our media? What are they protecting?
These are all very good questions, Tracy, and I know we're sort of slightly off the point here, but that's very interesting. Would you describe yourself in some ways? I mean, it sounds like it's too sharp a term, probably. But in some ways, you're an anarchist, aren't you? I mean, it's like back to the old punk days, isn't it? You really want change.
Do you know what? I've never been political. And these last couple of years, I feel like I'm desperately trying to catch up with loads of people who've been to uni. I didn't really understand the term anarchism. And I still don't. What I see is lawlessness within our government. What I see is our courts getting lost. What I want is a better future for my children. So am I the radical? The UN Secretary General said I'm not the radical. The radicals are the ones in government and the companies continuing to make decisions that they know will cause
All right.
mass suffering.
Tracy, it's good to speak with you. Last thing, there's a guy called Steve who's in Bearwood. He says the protesters, which is you, I suppose, put her in a position, the driver, in a position where she was feeling threatened. It's not different to you protecting your home when being burgled. Good on her.
I agree. I agree with that. And, you know, in my life, I've had some really tough days, and I don't know that I wouldn't have reacted like Sherrilyn at some point in my life. But again, who put me on the roads? And my friends, our government failing us, put me on the roads. We're really sorry Sherrilyn's suffering the consequences like this. But we're all going to suffer much more.
Oh, blimey. All right, well, listen.
Oh, blimey.
Yes, I know. It's all so depressing. Tracy,
Oh, darling, come and have a drink with us and you'll see the other side of it. Look, it is depressing, but we don't need to go down depressed. We can go down laughing.
I do listen to stand-up comedy quite a lot, I must say. Tracy Mallaghan, thank you, spokesperson for Insulate Britain.